on now.
Careful, you idiot. I said across her nose, not up it.
Sorry, sir. Doing my best.
Who made that man a gunner?
I did, sir. He's my cousin.
Who's he?
He's an asshole, sir.
I know that. What's his name?
That is his name, sir. Asshole. Major asshole.
And his cousin?
He's an asshole too, sir. Gunner's mate first class Philip Asshole.
How many assholes we got on this ship, anyhow?
Yo.
I knew it. Surrounded by cheat codes. Hey, everybody. It's October 22nd, 2015. Welcome to episode 68 of the Cheat Codes Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. The next hour is us enjoying a couple beers and going over our favorite bits from the past week in video game, tech, and pop culture news. You guys.
Hey, guys. Hey, guys.
My name is Joe Erskine. I am your host, and we are aboard Spaceball 1, orbiting planet Druidia, contemplating a new luggage combination. Today I'm here with the Cheat Codes producer and editor, Mr. Joe Yogurt Arroyo.
Hey.
I see a Schwartz as big as mine. Cheat Codes contributor, Mr. Nick Barf Golish.
Hey, how's it going?
And we're joined by video game dev student and Jane of all trades, Ms. Alexandra Matrix Lucas. Today on the show, we're going to comb the proverbial desert of the following topics. More details on the new Nintendo NX hardware have emerged. Is it a console? Is it a handheld service? It's both. Think Nintendo 3DS? Is your League of Legends handle...
Your little handle.
My little handle. I know. I wrote it in there like that's my fault. Is your League of Legends handle Nart? I can't say it. Nazi Fart Strangler 69? You may have been subject to a personality survey by Riot. Also, please change your League of Legends handle. Sometimes the little guy wins. Undertale launched, and it's crushing on Metacritic. The reviews are overwhelmingly positive, and one-man solo project is everyone else's indie must-play of the season. No joke on that one, guys. Just saying. For today's lightning round, we'll each have a minute to chime in on these little bits. An article from Kotaku UK posits that games should unlock all of their content and levels from the get-go. Pretty sure if there isn't a microtransaction for this, there will be. More eSports crime. What do you get when you cross Korean gangsters, StarCraft, and match fixing? Well, arrests and hefty banhammer, of course. Star Wars. Nothing but Star Wars. Seriously, we only put this last so we could talk about everything else for a bit. We really need to pace ourselves over the next couple months. Maybe you don't drink while doing a podcast, but we sure as hell do. A wise man once said, it's a cause and a solution to all of life's problems.
Homer Simpson.
Wise man. To this, we say cheers. Today, we're sampling a white IPA called Whiter and Nerdier from the Justice Brewing Company right here in Washington, I believe. Yes, Everett, Washington.
They are local and nerdy, apparently.
I think the only one drinking it at the moment is you, Joe. How is it?
It's good. It's white and it's nerdy.
Does it taste... I feel like that's not an appetizing name.
Oh, sorry. Is that not like a good description for
White
beer?
Nerdy? I mean, I appreciate the name. It fits.
I get hints of white.
It's like oleander.
Touch of nerdy.
It's good though. Yes.
Yeah, I like it.
I enjoy IPAs. So
It doesn't taste like a traditional IPA at all.
or a white IPA for that matter.
Well, that's the thing. It's
A white IPA.
Yeah.
Makes it not.
Which is not like a normal IPA.
Okay. I'm glad we sorted that out.
So let's get on board here, folks.
Yeah. Alexandra, welcome.
Thank you.
Tell everybody there is out there everything to know about you. Or just some of the things you're working on, what's next project-wise, and where people can hit you up on the social media, the tweets and stuff.
And such. Great. Well, thanks for having me on, guys. So first, I focus on narrative design and writing, and I do voice acting as well. Game design student at DigiPen. I also am a project management intern at Microsoft and vice chair of the IGDA Serious Games Special Interest Group. Just stuff.
Stuff. No big deal.
You know.
Just a lot of credentials.
So you got a lot of free time.
Busy as fuck. So this past year, I worked on Space Opera, Relic, some poetic experiences, whatever, at DigiPen, and we got to show them off at PAX, so it was pretty cool. And then this year, I'm working on a 3D poetic experience about a father dealing with his daughter's terminal illness. So it's pretty intense because it's actually about a teammate's friend who lost his daughter a couple months ago. So that's been interesting. And we're also using the Emotive Neuro headset. I don't know if you guys, it's augmented reality.
No, please
tech.
explain the emotive neuro.
Neuro.
Yeah, you put on the headset, align the nodes in a certain way, and then you train it to recognize your different brain waves when you're thinking of doing different actions. So pushing, pulling, moving, it's pretty crazy.
I tried one of these things out, I think, a few years ago when I was back in the Air Force or something. I can't remember what it was called or something, but it was like
The emotive neuro headset.
Yeah, that wasn't what it was
become a
called or
Jedi.
something.
That's
Yeah, it was pretty much
it.
exactly that. It says
You think super
you are
hard.
a Jedi when you buy this, of course. But
Yeah.
Wait, is it?
you could map it to different like key inputs or something, so you could like run around in a first-person shooter or something. You'd still have to use the mouse to aim or something, but you could think happy thoughts and walk forward and kill people
Yeah.
then or something.
So it is. It can track the waves emotionally based, or do you just think really hard and then this object like lifts off the ground?
There's an add-on for it that'll track your emotions. We can't pay for that, but because we're doing it out of our own pocket,
Right.
whatever. But that is a possibility with it. So
Crazy.
yeah.
Sounds great.
How do you force an emotion? Does it know if you're cheating? Like if you're
Happy.
pretending to be sad or happy?
I think we'll probably do it more since it'll be on your muscle movements in your face probably. So it might,
Okay.
yeah, get around it a
What's
little bit.
can you tell us a little bit about the gameplay in terms of like how you interact with it, or is that secret?
I mean, it's a little basic right now, but you alternate between two worlds. So one, you're in this forest with, she had a stuffed monkey, so you traipse around and solve spatial puzzles in there. And then you have reality where her father's telling her a fairy tale where she's a star in it. So you go back and forth, and it gets you go through the 5 stages of grief, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Is
Cool.
there a working title for this project?
It's called Magnolia, and that was a girl's name. So.
Okay. And where can people go to find out more about it?
So we have a website set up. It's called radiancegames.com. So you can kind of track the game there. And also my own Twitter is at Silken Moonlight. Gross. Holdover from when I used to go in, medieval tavern chat rooms back when chat rooms were a thing.
AOL,
I thought
AOL
the
was
name-
great, guys.
I thought the Twitter name was still going, like at Silken Moonlight Gross. Check me out.
That might be a good way to update it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, just keep it fresh.
But you're working with Bear Timchuk and Ashley Olmstead.
I am. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, great
Right.
folks. So.
I know them well. All right. Project Radiance.
clear your throat
Magnolia,
before-
everybody. Well, just saying. It's good, man. Well, thank you for being here. We're glad you're here.
Yeah, thanks.
I hope we can have some fun. Should we get to it? Topics, everybody? Ready?
Sure.
We need like a sound effect for that, maybe. I don't know. Anyway,
Bling.
let's.
my best.
Are you doing the Drake thing? The bling? No. Okay.
God, no. That's
All right.
later.
We'll get that. Yeah, maybe. Everybody's excited, or if you're not already, about a new Nintendo platform. The Wii U is kind of meh, right? I mean, people are enthusiastic about it, but there hasn't been a lot. There's been some like awesome content as of late, but I think it's on the downward end of its cycle. I think it's like a safe thing to say. And 3DS has been extremely successful, but maybe it's time for a new handheld, right? Maybe.
Yeah, that's.
I'm getting a lot of blank stares here, guys.
let's,
Come on.
Well, Super Mario Maker is
It's
pretty rad.
crushing it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Super Mar-
absolutely.
Super Mario Maker and the Squid Game.
Splatoon.
Squid Game.
Splatoon.
I like the Squid Game.
Yeah, and as
Yeah,
always,
that's-
but you can talk about stuff like Super Smash Brothers and stuff like that. Like it's
Well, I just feel like
holdovers.
since Mario Maker and Splatoon has come out, those two have been like amazing for Nintendo. Before that, it was always kind of just like, should I even care? But
Can I admit that the first time I'm actually actively interested in the idea of buying a Wii U was not until Splatoon came out? Now, granted, I never bought a Wii U, but I'm just saying I thought about it once.
at the risk of getting off topic quickly because I'm going to give some context to why there should be some excitement about the NX here in a second. But Splatoon is cool for a couple of reasons, and that's because it's new IP for Nintendo, which and to make that big of a splat, let's say on its release, like it's rare when you see Nintendo succeed that awesomely without reusing some sort of its stable IP, so to speak. Anyway. Nobody knows anything about the NX, really. and nobody's going to hear anything about it until 2016. Nintendo has been adamant about it. But the rumor going around is that it is going to be a console and a handheld. I'm watching all of your minds explode now.
I feel like maybe we didn't guess this, but maybe we talked about what somebody else guessed it was going to be at some point.
Yeah.
And I thought it was going to be like you can integrate your phone or your tablet or something into this console somehow. And instead of you having a Wii U controller, you would use your tablet or something instead. Because that was their big problem is like they try to make another tablet or something that you could play a game on.
Yeah. Oh, the gamepad.
But now you just need your phone and you hook it up to this console and then you play your games and then you can leave and go play your game someplace else, also on your phone maybe or something.
Well, what the problem with the Wii U was that the gamepad was tethered to the Wii U within a radius of what, like 15 feet?
Yeah,
something like that.
You can measure it in feet. That's a problem already.
If you can measure it in feet, I'm pretty sure the Japanese use meters, so that's a problem.
Yeah,
right,
that's another problem.
Okay, guys.
It's like, metric system or bust.
Yeah, right.
I'm serious. I don't know what the hell's wrong with America.
Us in Burma got to get on it, man. I'm just saying. Anyway. I'm sorry, Alexandra, did you have something to say?
Oh, I was just thinking, I mean, like Bethesda has a little Pip-Boy thing where you can put your phone in it. Have you guys seen the pre-order
for Fallout 4? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I feel like people are starting to think of ways to do that because, I mean, I'm going on Bethesda tangent, but holy shit, I play Fallout Shelter all day. Oh my god! But
more than Candy Crush.
Get out.
Oh, dude, you just got told to leave your own podcast. That's fucked.
Yeah, I got a friend who's really into Fallout Shelter also. They're waiting for the new Fallout and everything, and they're just playing Fallout Shelter all the time.
Yeah, I messed around with it for a bit. It was fine.
Yeah, I messed around for a little bit.
If there is some sort of peripheral for the Nintendo that you can like create a screen or a gamepad out of your own phone or tablet, that would make a lot of sense. And because we all know that Nintendo is going into a mobile space just as aggressively as they are with the new console generation, this is a good thought to have, or at least a reasonable one.
Don't make me carry around another device at this point because we all know what phones are capable of. There's no reason not to just like put your shit on there so that you can use your phone as the mobile portion of whatever the NX is. That's what I think. There are other games that have done the mobile integration as well. The Jackbox Party Pack.
Oh yeah, I've actually played with their like Twitch streamers when they're doing like Fibbage or Quiplash or whatever, and you're like on your phone like interacting with them while they're doing their Twitch stream.
You don't know Jack, the Drawful, Fibbage, all those games they have, and all of it is played on the phone. They don't even have an option to play it with controllers. That's what I find really interesting. If you don't have a smartphone, you just can't play the game, I guess. You bought it on your Xbox. It's on your Xbox One, but you don't have a fucking smartphone because you're stuck in the 90s and your phone flips open. I don't know why. But
enjoy your StarTAC.
It's cool, but it's like, what? Like,
I think it's more of like a trial and error kind of process for something like that specific. It's more of like, hey, let's try this out and see if it works and see what kind of response we get before we go, mass platform or something like that. But
I'm excited. Like if I can take my Pokemon Go game on my phone that's coming out or something and go catch some Pokemon in the park.
Oh, Pokemon Ingress you're talking about?
Is it called Ingress now?
Well, it's the guys who made Ingress that are making Pokemon Go.
Okay, Pokemon Go.
Yeah,
I guess.
If you can go more than a few meters away from your console.
No, if I can go to the park, catch some Pokemon while I'm, I don't know, walking a dog or something, and then
when are you gonna do this?
And then I come back and play the NX with my Pokemon that I just caught on the trip to poop my dog.
The day you tell me that you're going for a walk in the fucking park, I'm gonna be like, what?
No, this is an example. Like I'm just saying, like is this
a bad?
What if?
Is that a bad?
The point is that you might. Okay.
Is that cool?
The point is that you might do that.
Is that a cool thing to do? Like,
is it?
You tell me.
I think
I'm not playing Pokemon Go.
I love Pokemon, but
I know you do.
I like to fight them, and I don't know if that's going to be in the new Go game or anything. Okay. So if this is somehow integrated with the NX, and I can like take the Pokemon I caught in the park and fight people with, it'd be kind of cool.
I'm going to try and throw a lasso around this really quickly before we get too far off the rails.
What?
I feel like we're on the rails.
Yeah. Pokemon Go, I think, is going to be part of the mobile Nintendo experience, and if we're still separating that from the console experience, I think what's worth kind of noting, other than the fact that we might have a console/handheld thing actually finally working from Nintendo in the next couple of years, because
the NX couple of years, right?
The NX couple of years, yes, good one.
That was good. I liked it.
Yeah. Subtle.
I think I'd appreciate it more next time I hear it.
The NX couple of years.
How'd that work out?
That was better. That worked out. Yeah,
great.
Oh shit.
I think What's worth noting too is that Nintendo's actually kind of gone out, like one of the leaked statements or rumored statements is that they are all about using industry leading chips, which is something Nintendo has been kind of like faulted for in the past when they do console stuff, is that they have kind of outdated software and or graphical capability, whatever. So they're talking about industry, quote unquote, leading chips that they're going to start using. I don't know what that means. I don't know if it's NVIDIA. I don't know. Whatever the fuck. Who cares? The point is that they want to try and catch up to at least like last gen, Sony and Microsoft consoles. You know what I mean? So like closer to Xbox 360 or PS3, if not up to date with 4 and 1.
Chips aren't software.
I know that. They're hardware.
You said they have like outdated software. So
Yeah, but you need software to run hardware.
You need hardware.
Hardware to run software, right?
You guys look like you're about to rumble.
Yeah.
Kind of da-da-da.
He's helping me make my point. I don't even really have to say much at this point.
Hard or soft?
Just
Should we keep going?
no. Yeah. Yes. No.
The Wii U cycle, obviously, like we talked before, is coming to a close. So the market's fresh, and Nintendo's always kind of like been that purveyor that walks at its own pace and its own beat.
Slow pace.
Yes, but at the same time, you know what I mean? Like they kind of like they don't, while Microsoft and Sony are kind of duking it out in the corner, Nintendo's kind of just like, we're over here doing our own thing. You know what I mean? And it seems like by the time NX comes out, it's not like we're going to be seeing Xbox 2 and PS5. You know what I mean?
I've already seen tons of articles on like concepts of the PS5 kind of thing. So the next Nintendo console.
Yeah, but they were doing that after the 3. And it was all bullshit.
You see all these crazy like spaceship machines or something. Like they're all just like CG like generated like graphics, of course, but it's just some random crap.
I hear you.
And
Alexandra, are you on the Nintendo like train?
The first video game I ever played was Yoshi's Story, and I was sold after that. So ish.
So yeah, wait.
You were sold after that, but ish.
But ish. Okay, explain the ish. How did it become ish and not yes? Yes, with a resounding yes.
Oh, I mean, there was a dark period when I was not permitted to play video games. So I came back in once a friend got me a, Xbox 360 and BioWare happened at me. But, Yoshi's Woolly World, super psyched to play that. So
that does look great.
I hear good things.
Graphically, too.
Yeah.
Looks fantastic. They did a good job with that.
I'm actually kind of curious about this whole like dark period of no games, but that's fine. BioWare happened, so that meant what? Like Mass Effect and Dragon Age and that kind of stuff?
I lost a week of time when I just played Dragon Age Origins and came out the other side a gamer, I guess.
Oh, Dragon Age is what did it?
Yeah.
So during that week, did you get up?
I mean, occasionally I would pause just because my eyes were tired, and then I'd be like, "Oh, I haven't eaten in 8 hours." Right.
Do that.
Those are the best video games.
Or you hear the birds, and you're like, "Oh, it's dawn now." All right. Never stop.
Well, do you know what kind of games you're not going to be playing on the NX? BioWare games, guys. Because
I mean, yeah.
In case you're wondering.
Regardless, great story.
Great, yeah. NP. I was gonna say Pokemon in the Park made me think of some Shakespearean production in the park, but it's all Pokemon.
That sounds amazing.
Performing.
That sounds so great.
So let's. I know. All right, we're already behind schedule. I get it, Joe. I'm getting.
I didn't even give you any look.
You're giving me the look. I get it. I'm curious about. Let's pick Hamlet, right?
Yeah.
What's happening right
which,
now?
Which Pokemon plays Hamlet?
Oh my god, this is a tough question.
Wobbuffet.
Wait, really? There's one called Wobbuffet?
Yeah.
Is he a bounty hunter Pokemon?
No,
does he collect other Pokemon? Is that what he does?
He's like a fighter. He's a counter. So like you put him out and he casts counter and whoever damaged him, he has like a tremendous health pool. So he'll do double the damage back to the next person on the next turn.
That sounds kind of like
but
Hamlet.
He's
okay.
like Wobbuffet.
I'm with it. All right, fair enough. Okay.
He didn't know that he was making that correlation.
I don't think he did. I don't think he did
help
either.
him.
It was a reasonable argument. And
It's in the notes, actually.
I know my Shakespeare.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go from a console space to a PC space here briefly for a couple minutes, and let's talk about Undertale. I think there's only one person at this table that's played it, and that's okay. But what is undeniable about this game is the fan reaction for a successfully funded to the tune of $51,000. A guy named Toby Fox made this game by himself, based on. I'm sorry, I'm being interrupted by our guest.
I was going to say, sorry. There's all this hype about him making it by himself, and there was Temi Chang, another person helped.
Credit
with,
where it's due. Go for it. Do it. So
that's all. It's just
who was Temi Chang?
Yeah, what is this?
That person also helped with art and writing, but Toby Fox. To be fair, the confusion I think comes from that's the name of their company, whatever.
Oh,
so
that would be confusing.
No space Fox. So
fucking games journalists, man,
yeah,
screwing up our podcast.
Not even bothering. They're like, "Fuck, I have to write about this thing." Whatever.
This
Toby
company
Fox.
sounds like a person's name.
So let's context a little bit here, real quick. So a guy was trying to make a combat system in Game Maker, and then kind of built Undertale around it. Is how that kind of came out of this. Decided that he was kind of interested in this space, making an interesting RPG where certain things like combat didn't necessarily have to be resolved with combat. You could kind of talk your way out of certain situations or
spare the life of
right. Like it was interested in exploring spaces of meaningful choice, despite the the never-ending kind of idea that all branches come back to some sort of ending or not, maybe, but doing it in a meaningful way, which is really kind of interesting. A very cool kind of pixel art style that seems basic maybe at first glance, but I think a lot of people have kind of come across after watching a few trailers. Like I said, I haven't played it, but it's very charming. It's very charming. Alexandra.
Yeah, let's go to our field reporter.
Our field reporter. I'm standing outside of Undertale right now.
I'd like to know a little firsthand experience on it because I've watched a lot of videos too after the ratings, and I'm so intrigued by it. I know I need to buy it.
You don't have a PC to play it. I guess you can play it.
I do have it.
$10 on Steam for those that are interested. If you haven't gotten already.
It's a really interesting experience. I mean, it starts with a basic story. Humans and monsters fought. Monsters have been sealed underground, and you're a little human who fell down into the underground. And you interact with all these different monsters. Some are trying to help you, some not so much. And the first one you encounter is a flower named Flowey. Perfect.
I like it.
Super friendly. Too friendly, maybe. Don't want to spoil it, but... that's your first encounter.
Which you did a little bit.
Why?
I don't know.
Did she though?
About.
Did she really?
I don't know.
Maybe it's crisscross. I don't know. But so you can go 3 different paths with it. You can be a pacifist, which you go through the whole game without killing anything. You can be neutral, which is you kill a couple, whatever, and then genocide, which is when
that's the next one.
You kill every. Yeah, those are your options.
It's a small jump from
polar extreme.
Yeah, it's like I'm neutral, genocide.
I'm a pacifist. I'm neutral. Or I'm Hitler. You know what I mean? Like straight up. That's it.
That's the achievement, says Hitler. Let's commit genocide.
Sig Heil, motherfucker.
Okay. Yeah. And then, it affects the outcome of the game, whatever you choose. It's actually the final story is drastically changed depending on what you choose. So, whatever. But all the monsters are completely unique, which is really interesting. So, I don't know. I picked out 2 of my favorites. There's Napstab Look, not kidding. He's really bummed out ghost, and he cries, and if you cheer him up instead of killing him, he starts crying tears upwards, and they turn into a top hat. And it's
oh my god, I'm
adorable.
Terribly intrigued now.
Yeah,
I was already intrigued, and now I want to know what the upward tier top hat.
But look out for Jerry. Everyone hates a monster named Jerry, and you can ditch him, and the monsters are really happy if you do that. They're like, freaking Jerry over here.
Wow, that's so great.
Social structure at work in RPGs. God. Amazing.
So
worth noting, too, that this is the first PC game to debut and collect enough Metacritic reviews that actually unseated the reigning champion Half-Life 2, right? It debuted with a 97 rating. I think it's after a couple weeks it settled at about 94 as a Metacritic rating and somewhere in the teens. But the point is, like, it's the first one in whatever eons. They told us this in Tale and Legend back before Metacritic was just a wisp of a thought. You know what I mean? But it's kind of a cool thing from a studio of 1+ people that's
as the high
all studios are 1+.
Well, not necessarily. Really? Well, yeah. What's the guy that did The Witness and that did Braid? Jonathan Blow. right?
Right.
He's a one man show.
You sure he didn't have any help?
I don't know. If the game journalists aren't doing their job, then I have no other reference.
All right.
I'm just
Fair
saying.
enough.
But the cool thing about it is that like successfully crowdfunded, made an awesome game, and now it's become kind of like, kind of like a fringe contender for Game of the Year awards. You know what I mean? People are talking about this 5-hour experience being like totally worthy of everyone's time. And that's an amazing thing. Like, this is the kind of stuff we hope for. I feel like it's been a theme of the show as of late that we've been talking about all these horrible things that are happening with Kickstarter, despite them changing their charter and trying to be more, focused on things. But I don't even know where he crowdfunded it. It doesn't matter. The point is that we see something that people paid for, and they got something probably more than they expected on their return, which is awesome.
This is on Steam?
It is on Steam. $9.99.
Yeah, it's more of a general statement about crowdfunding, regardless of whether it's Kickstarter.
Correct.
It doesn't matter the avenue.
exactly.
It's just it's great in the midst of all the shit, people gaming the system and all that. It's nice to see a project that's genuinely funded, and if it is a 1+ developed project, to what was it funded for?
About 51,000.
Okay, so that's actually like a nice. I think that's a realistic number for a 1 or 2 person project, where a lot of the other projects that come out on Kickstarter tend to get underfunded because they're trying to show publishers there's interest, blah blah blah. Everything we kind of repeat ad nauseum on this podcast. But for once, I think $50,000 for 1 or 2 dudes to make this game, I think. That's actually realistic. You probably spend, it's not a great income, but it's good enough to buy your food
arguably
and
a
buy
year's
your drink
salary to get shit done,
and actually work on a game. And I think that's a great thing that it got funded for a reasonable amount, enough for somebody to make it, and that we have a success story finally backing a good Kickstarter project. Yeah. So, especially one guy, that's fucking insane.
Yeah.
So.
Something great about it too is it takes a lot of chances that indie games do, right? But it's become really popular. I mean, there are romantic feelings between 2 characters that just aren't. It's not a big deal. It's just really.
Is it like Saints Row where I can put my 3D junk in a floating robot?
I'm gonna go ahead and say no.
No, okay. You mean like legitimate feelings?
I mean, I haven't played as in the Genocide, so I mean,
try it out. Maybe Jerry's a love interest in one of them.
Sweet Jerry.
Have you played through the whole thing?
Yeah, just going the pacifist route. I tend to play hardcore, Paragon. When I play, so
that's a Mass Effect reference, guys. I just don't know if you know that.
For the kids playing at home. Yeah.
I tell when I play games like Fable or the ones where you have a choice to just be evil or good, no matter how hard I try, I always manage to make my character good at some point. Yeah. Like sometimes I'll start the game and I'll be like, I want to do the opposite of life, where you are trying to be a nice person and not fuck people over. And then I do it, and it starts out that way. And if there's any redemption for swaying the other direction, at some point I turn the corner and I'm like, I need to be the good guy again, really badly.
It's funny you mention that because I feel like there's this time when I think I do the same thing. I fall into the Paragon role or like the angelic role in Fable games or whatever. Like I get these powers and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do good. Like I read too many comic books as a kid where I'm just like, I'm gonna help the people and all this stuff. But every time there comes a quest where. Like there's a certain item that I really, really want, and I'm just like, I don't want to fuck around with this. I just want the item. Like I'm killing the shopkeeper. I don't give a fuck. Like this is my one this is my one skeleton in the closet, or my one dark mark on my record, and I'll take the hit, and like I'll spend a couple hours like grinding it out, trying to get my Paragon level back up or whatever. You know what I mean? Just trying to do it. But
when I try to play those games, I try to like put myself in the characters. Like, how would I make this decision? I guess, and I was like, oh, I don't want to do that. Like, I'm lazy. I'm a lazy person. I don't actually want to go do that for you or something.
So you're neutral. You're the neutral guy.
No, I'll kill when it's necessary.
I'm not saying neutral. I'm just saying, like, I want to... Maybe that's my personality or something. But I want to try to make the decision in the game as I would if I were really there or something. But my problem with that is...
So you role play straight up.
I try to. Well, no, role playing is different. I would say that's more like I would role play to be a champion or something, or I role play to be a bad guy. Okay. I'm putting myself in their character or something. I don't know what you call that. Just
it's more like trying to play like a realist, like how you would do it in real life if you were in.
If I were role playing, I would choose.
Dinosaurs.
I'm the champion of this land or something, and I would always like help, like
So
go
you
rescue
play
the
like
damsel.
a written role, not necessarily the one you wanted to play. How you'd make
No, not how I
decisions.
want to play. Like
Yeah,
I,
the
like how
decisions
I
you would
make
make if you would in
decisions.
that position.
Isn't
Yeah, I
that fucking
understand.
weird? Because you'd think that you have the opportunity to escape your real life, and other than being put into some type of fantasy setting or other, you could just do the opposite of what you do every day. Like it's interesting to think
Wouldn't-
how intriguing it is to act like your real self somehow in the
Wouldn't
midst
you
of the game.
rather imagine yourself in this fantastical world than like play some other person that you're not or something? I guess.
This is why we play video games.
But when-
Exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I suppose. Sorry, I just want to say one thing real quick.
No.
My main problem with doing it the way I do it is so many games that do the Paragon system reward you for going completely one way or the other.
Yes.
And you don't get some like special ability or
You're not
something,
wrong.
and that pisses
It's
me
an
off.
inherent
Stop
kind of
doing that.
issue. I agree.
Stop doing that.
Make it more ambiguous. I agree.
All right.
Alexandra, go ahead.
I was going to say that I like to play a better version of myself. So a lot of times I'll look at the options and I'll be like, oh, I totally do that one. Wow, I'm a dick. No, I need to have the blue option later. So, I don't know.
That's hard. That makes those role playing games like really hard to do. So I feel like I played Knights of the Old Republic or something, and it's like, do I just want to, like you said, just rob this shopkeeper or something so I can just get onto the next area or something and save the galaxy, which I want to do or something.
Sure.
But I'm gonna screw this one person over or something. It's like that's not really me, but I kind of want to get to the next part.
But I know it's still
Yeah.
a game.
So it's hard. It's hard to
Sure,
do.
sometimes you deviate, but
Yeah.
but it's interesting to see the options come up where you just feel like you gut reaction, you make instinctual decisions based on the way you would if you encounter
Yes.
that scenario
Yes.
in real life. And yeah, maybe at some point you think you're a dick, but it's nice to have.
That's how I live my life every day in real life.
There's a gray area. Life is a gray area.
Yeah. So that being said, if you guys were going to play a League of Legends character, or in particular, maybe pick one particular thing before picking any other.
Can you name any League of
Summoner.
Legends characters?
No, I know they're called summoners though, right? They're summoners.
No,
They're not summoners.
The summoner is the person playing the character.
Yep.
They're champions.
Fuck, I'm
Yep.
really not.
You're really bad.
MOBAs are not good for me.
What?
I don't. No,
Oh.
they're fine.
I'm
for
glad
me.
you finished that sentence.
Yeah. Well, don't interrupt me, jerk. I'm curious what your avatar would be for League. What is your? I know what your fucking avatar is. What is yours, Joe, for League of Legends?
What is my avatar?
Was it Man Bear Pugs?
It's probably Man Bear Pug.
Yeah. Okay.
I think Alexandra likes
Figured that out. Yeah, it's just like, oh, South Park. Oh, pugs. Oh, shit. Yeah, it's good.
So many layers. It's
well,
like
the
an
word
onion.
Nazi isn't in it, so it's already a
Right.
win.
If I get flagged for Man Bear Pug, I won't even know what to do with it. If League of Legends makes me take a personality test for Man Bear Pug, the only thing I can answer is like, are you a crazy pug owner? Yes.
That was actually kind of one of the most seamless segues I think we've ever done. So I'm going to stop making it seamless.
Well, it
by,
started.
like,
It
pointing
started out
out.
really badly. And
Well, I was
we
just
saved it.
Yeah, you guys did. It's
So you
fine.
ruined it by pointing it out. So that's fine.
Well, Myberg over at Motherboard, and by default, some other sources kind of like drew from this particular article. There are 67 million monthly users
Wow.
That's
playing League of Legends.
you got to consider that is larger than a lot
Some
of countries.
Yeah, exactly. It's okay. I said this in the notes, but let's say I don't play MOBAs. I think they're a genre that there's just a high barrier of entry. Okay, I don't necessarily understand it. I think the one I spent the most time with was maybe Vainglory, and that's like the iPad version of a MOBA. Okay, but I've attempted Dota 2 and I've attempted League of Legends. I have no legs with it whatsoever. They have a lot of fucking users, and they need to manage a community that is A, large, like exceptionally large,
Yeah.
and B, we're a gamer audience. We can all agree here that sometimes the gamer audience can be a tough animal to handle. I feel like that's being generous.
Because of the internet
The internet,
hiding behind your keyboard.
sure.
Yeah.
People have weird named avatars,
Yeah.
summoners. Yes, did I use that term correctly this
They
time?
have some pretty great ones, great named ones too.
Like the 50s Crisis, for instance.
No,
No, that's not what you're saying.
that's not what I said.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying, like we said in the intro. What did I say? Was it Nazi fart puncher 69.
69.
Something
You
like
had to add the
Strangler.
69 to it.
Well, because why not?
42069.
420, yeah.
So there's a user agreement that Riot pushes out there where it's like if your name is offensive or if you abuse chat or something like that, then we're going to do something to punish you. And in the past they've used things like player tribunals, and they've used data analysis to kind of cull and monitor and regulate their user base. But when you have 67 concurrent users, or not even necessarily concurrent, but monthly, just on any given fucking day,
67 million.
over the course, I'm sure it's a few million from day to day, but 67 total, fucking astronomical. You know what I mean? That's a huge number. What's the next step? So they decided they're going to start throwing out personality tests to players with
Reported handles.
Reported handles, yes.
Wait, what's your gamer tag? In your go-to gamer tag? Is it the
Stick with
Silken
the- I
Moonlight
stick with
gross?
the Silken Moonlight.
Okay, I'm just checking.
Sans gross.
No, the gross.
Moonlight.
I think you should add the gross.
Gross.
With an underscore? Or?
Yeah, I don't know.
How does that work phonetically? I don't know.
Well, something that creates a dramatic pause, and I don't think you can do dots in a username because you could do
You can do dot.
the ellipse, and then
You can do
gross.
some symbols, I think, but I'm not sure. I don't know.
This is not the topic.
So
I
anyway,
can't remember. Yeah.
So there's this personality survey that they've been putting out there, and it's asking very specific questions about violent tendencies and narcissistic tendencies that certain Reddit users have pointed out that are stolen from DSM quizzes and like psychological tests, and profiling exams that are used on a self-procured basis to kind of be like, hey, am I a fucking narcissist, or do I have violent tendencies? Have I thought about killing someone today? How many times have I thought about that in the past week? Here's a number, that kind of stuff.
They were odd questions, I feel like.
Right.
Like, not questions I would normally imagine getting if I had an ill-named,
Yes.
account.
What are we talking?
Like,
What are we talking here?
It's like
literally,
how many times did I hit somebody today or something?
Right,
It's like
or
a question like that.
Over the
Did you
past
not
week
see the screenshot in the?
of the test,
They have a screenshot of the form of one of the tests.
Oh dang! No.
Yeah,
Where
and
it's
it says okay. So the answers are the number of times 1 through 7.
over the past week. How many times have you
Yeah, and it
thought
says-
about doing this?
Right.
Okay.
So
And some of them were like violently hurting somebody.
yeah,
It's like,
I have thought about hurting someone X amount of times in the last week.
Right. I've said that I want to kill someone this many times in the past week.
So what I find the reason why this is really fucking weird to me is because there are only a couple outcomes that can come from a test like this, where it's so obviously contrived to find out whether or not you're a fucking narcissist or a sociopath. The problem is that sociopaths are terribly charming and also very smart.
the answer to these questions are 0 across the board.
Exactly. Like
My screen name is still Nazi Fart Puncher 69.
So
but
I'll
I'm a totally nice guy.
I'll put this out there so you guys can discuss it, because I this is how I feel about it. Is there are only 2 ways you can do this. Now, one is the answers you give dictate whether or not you successfully get to change your username and continue playing, which we all know what you need to choose the answers for in order to do that. So then the system's kind of broken. Hold on. And then the second is that it's just there to be there. And then when you complete it, even if you answer, an infinite number of times for how many times I thought I was going to kill someone this week or something, then they still let you change your name and you get to go about your daily business. So my questions are, 1, whether or not it actually dictates it, why you think that has any purpose at all, and 2, if it doesn't dictate it, then what are they actually using that information for?
Let me footnote your statement about this. You get an initial survey. You have to play 50 matches.
Yeah, I know.
And then you get the secondary survey. And then they might let you change your name, is basically how this works.
So do you think, then around the horn, do you think that the questions you answer matter whether or not you get your name back, or just that you finish the survey? And if you think that it's just that you finish the survey, then what do you think they're doing with that information? And why are they mining it?
what I don't understand is, like, this is so ridiculous. I don't know what the correct answers to this survey would be. Like, I feel like...
Why is it ridiculous?
Because
I feel like this is a necessary thing, or at least an attempt at being...
I don't feel like it's...
like managing
maybe
a toxic
managing
community.
this kind of community is necessary, and
Yes.
that's not going to come from them. They don't have the personality to do that, or the personnel to do that. I'm sorry. they need to do the player tribune kind of thing or something where like you
the
you have the
tribunal stuff, okay.
community manage itself.
So if you're saying
that's
they're
the
doing-
only way they can do
Okay,
it.
yep.
But with this survey test, like it's such the questions are so ridiculous. I feel like that if I were to take it, I would not feel confident in my answers. Like, is this what they're looking for?
Wait,
like,
in what way?
Like, no, I don't know. Like,
I feel like I need to be somewhat narcissistic, otherwise they're gonna know I'm not.
Otherwise, I'm lying.
if I'm not narcissistic enough, are they gonna make me change my name? Like, I don't know. Like, that's how ridiculous I feel like this survey is.
You, sir, are an American treasure. I got to tell you right now, that was amazing. You're right to a certain point because I actually read the Motherboard article and then I went on and actually took the test. I'm happy to say that I actually scored lower than the average for males for aggression and narcissism. So, but I will admit to the fact that I was like, am I going to game this right now? You know what I mean? I tried to answer as honestly as possible. Like truth be told, I really did. But at the same time, I was just like, did I want to kill somebody 2 times this week? Or that's 3 times this week?
That's what I'm saying. Like, do you properly know how to game this?
And you know what's fucked up about that? Even saying it was more than one, I still ended up below average. So I'm just saying, everybody needs to calm down a little bit.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, question.
Sure.
Is the test timed?
No,
At all?
That's a good question.
I don't know, and I'm not even sure if they if you don't answer the survey they send you, like, do you get to play after that?
You probably have to change.
Are
your
you
name
locked
or
out or something?
Yeah.
They used to do it where like
But you're taking the survey to change your name, aren't you?
No, you're taking the survey to keep your name.
'Cause you were
I think.
flagged.
No, you were flagged
so
for
you get your name changes to some
you're
kind
flagged
of
for having a
auto-generated
bad
one.
name, and
Sure,
you have to
maybe.
take a survey. And like, are you a crazy person? No. Okay, play 50 games. Take another survey. It's like, are you crazy now? It's like, yes. Okay, change your name. Like that's.
right. No, I not unequivocally.
I think
yes,
that's that's happening.
is what I agree with you, and I. So if you game the system, it's probably not that hard, but I can't imagine that they're allowing people that have been reported to keep their names. I think the way they used to do it, apparently based on the article, is saying that they like gave players suggested names. So instead of like Nazi Fart Puncher 69, they were like
68.
fascist.
That's how you change it.
Fascist Wind Passer 5. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, right.
I just don't. What is the point of this? Like,
Here, wait.
like
I have a
why are we? Is this going to improve the toxic community or something? Like,
you're asking an important question, and I'm going to give you the answer right now. The point is that I think they're doing aggregate research, right? And this is kind of where Reddit came into this article, where they were like, why are they stealing a bunch of questions from these fucking DSM quizzes and profiling, tests, and then using it as video game research when they're not necessarily sharing it with anybody? They're not like going about the normal research, like ethical methods. You know what I mean? And so like people on Reddit are kind of like, up, as people on Reddit often do.
Well, I feel
Get
like
up in arms. You know what I mean?
I feel like they got a good reason to be up in arms for this. I guess I don't know. Like,
So you said on the side of the fact like this is an overstepping of
No,
of the bounds for Riot?
no,
or?
I think this is ridiculous. Like, what's the point? Like, they got other things to do. Like,
I think it's going to take them about 67 million fucking responses before they have enough aggregate data to give a reasonable response to that question.
I don't know.
I
It's,
have a hypothetical for our guest.
Oh, God.
Alexandra, to put you on the spot. Let's say that they are not using this information to dictate whether or not they let you change your name. Let's say they're mining this information to hand off to a company of questionable. We don't know yet. Okay, what do you think? What do you think this would be used for? Would it dictate your Amazon purchases?
I mean, the first thing that comes to mind, my idealistic, oh, sweetie, they're not going to use it for that, is I think it would be, I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, it doesn't happen, or it's not so bad, or whatever. But if people can see hard numbers for how bad things are, a lot of times that can be sort of a wake-up call for people a little bit. Also, I mean, have you guys heard of fatuglyerslutty.com?
No. I feel like I don't want to know.
I felt like I was living
But
life just
please
fine
tell.
not knowing about it, but that's fine.
So it's hate porn, I guess, if you're going to go.
Like revenge porn kind of shit.
No. Let me try again.
There's a difference, apparently.
It's a series. People take screenshots of just horrible things that are said to them. I guess over Xbox Live is mostly where it is, but it's just anything, and it's just a collection of. Yeah, I mean, when you actually look at it, I don't know. Not that I was doing that kind of thing before, but just looking at it really makes it stand out for how horrible it is and makes it really visible. So I think that's something that people, if you need to see it, really.
But don't you think people need to answer honestly in order for that information to be viable for that purpose?
Well, I think things like if they could time it, they could see, okay, what's real and what's not. Like if people just hit, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 really quickly and turn it in. I mean, that's still, you can game it. And they might also be looking for, the people who go, like 7, 8, 9, 10, they might interpret that differently than we think. So people who are scoring the people who are trying to hide it are scoring really low. Maybe I could see them having sort of a different system than we think they do. And also the fact that you have to play 50 matches in between taking it again, I feel like that's a little bit of a trick too, to make sure you can't just answer the exact same way, because you might not remember, right? So they might be gauging for consistency.
Okay, I agree with you if the questions were a little bit more vague, but only based on the page that I saw, it was very obvious. Like, they were too obvious. It was just like, did you think about killing someone X amount of times this week? Right. Those kind of questions I feel like are not the kind that it's obvious how to game it. And I think that in an instant, like less than a 3-second period, even if they timed it, I'd still know the right answer I'm supposed to give if I want to keep my account. And that's where I feel like the whole thing is kind of weird.
Here's the difference between the two, really quickly. Like, something that exists as a repository for actual data based on the thing you're talking about. I'm sorry, I don't want to get it wrong. So what was the site called? I'm not even kidding. Like, I'm genuinely curious.
Fat, ugly, or slutty.
Okay, so if there's a site that exists for that, I feel like
.org?
Oh.
Wow.
You're going to go on it right now. I see you doing it now.
Sorry, I had to throw a joke in somewhere.
That site exists for a very specific reason, and that's to like aggregate and make sense of that data, right? To a certain degree. When Riot comes up with a personality quiz like this, I think the purposes become very ambiguous. A, because they don't say a whole lot about it, and it's super easy to game. People that are submitting stuff to that website are not necessarily like, they don't want to game it because they want to further some sort of like
awareness.
Exactly.
Right?
Perfect word for it. Yeah. Exactly. And so I think as much as they are similar, there's still a drastic difference between the two based on like user amount or even just like, if I have a shitty fucking League of Legends name, do I really want to play 50 more games to fucking change it just so League of Legends, like Riot gets off my back?
What I don't understand is, like, if we're gauging for murderers and psychopaths, why are we just making them change their name? Like, what is the point of this if they just have to change their name? Is them changing their name going to make them less of a psychopath?
Nick Golish, you cut to the core of me.
I think
sometimes.
I totally agree with Nick.
Yeah, you're right. Like honestly, when you put it that plainly and that, like, it's that simple.
I don't understand the effort they're putting into this. Like, why is there a psych test or something?
No,
they
and some
spent
of the Reddit,
time on putting together.
The Reddit user said it too. Like, why aren't they using a third party for this? This seems like a gigantic waste of their time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, not to say that it is. Like, it's cool that they're making efforts to manage their community and stuff like that, or at least understand it from an analytical level and whatnot. But
if this is just information trolling from them to like figure out more about their audience or something, this isn't going to affect the community at all. I feel like I don't know.
Do you know what time it is, Nick?
It's lightning round time.
It's lightning round time, Nick.
I was going to say tool time, but
next time Nick logs onto his computer, Amazon's going to be like, I think you're interested in a butcher knife.
Right. Yeah. Do you need duct tape and a shovel? Yeah, exactly.
Other people who bought this butcher knife also bought a shovel.
no, it's a big plastic bag.
Oh God!
It's a giant rug, but I'm gonna roll you up and then throw you off a bridge. It's fine. We're gonna move on to the lightning round. We're gonna have a couple quick topics. Everybody's gonna get a minute to share their feelings on it. I'm gonna award points arbitrarily. This inspiration comes from no known source that I can think of. Anyway, I hope you all brought notes. That's all I can say. I hope you all brought notes.
They're up here, buddy.
Okay. The first topic.
You're allowed to secede your time if you don't have enough notes.
My time will rise
I know.
again, bro. I just want you to know that. Anyway, the first topic was based on an article from Kotaku UK that was an op-ed piece that kind of posited the idea that games should come with all content levels and whatnot unlocked from the get-go. And that most players would play them as they were intended to be played and go from there, as opposed to having like a journey that you unlock stuff or having blocked experiences based on how far you progress through a game and whatnot. I chose this because I was hoping it to be very polarizing in to a certain degree. Mr.
We'll find out.
Ghoulish.
What?
It looks like you had something to say just now.
I had something to say about what you're saying. I don't want to start, but
Oh, you don't?
You're fucking starting.
what's the topic?
You have 1 minute.
I
Go.
like games that give me freedom to do things, I guess. Okay, so the topic is, I got to remember, all the context unlocked, I guess.
Yeah.
That seems...
You have 45 seconds.
That seems kind of great in some ways, but it's nice to gate the community to not have access to it right away, but that would be the complete opposite of having it, like, available. And this really depends on if it's multiplayer or single player. Like, if it's single player, maybe I want to have the option to unlock all the stuff all the time so I can play the game however I want. If it's multiplayer, I'm very much a fan of it being gated so that you can't access everything right away. You have to actually work for it a little bit.
All right.
I had 10 seconds to not say anything.
No, we don't do that. You secede your time.
Nick Ghoulish.
It was okay.
For not knowing how you started, you finished well. I'll give you
You
plus
remembered the topic 15 seconds.
537 points.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay.
Is that
The
Prime?
prime numbers.
It feels prime.
It
to
could
me.
not be.
It might not be, but it feels prime to me. Alexandra, you have 1 minute to talk about why unlocking all content at the beginning of a game is good or bad.
Okay, the pressure. So I'm a person who gets a thrill out of achievements, unlocking things. So I mean, personally, I think it's really satisfying to unlock content in games. So I mean, I think it's good to keep it in. Maybe something where you could have different modes. I mean, I would honestly turn it off if I could unlock everything. That's like the hardcore, like not to get Fallout Shelter, God, again, but you unlock rooms as you go after you like, achieve things or get more people, I guess. So I just think it makes it a more satisfying experience to earn it as you go.
Mr. Arroyo, you get to listen to me for 1 minute while I talk about
Okay, go.
curveball.
You're good.
Already running out of time.
You have 56 seconds.
Here's the deal. So unlocking everything at the front end goes exactly against what it means to have an interactive experience. There are people out there that talk about how movies and music give you everything up front, and you get to pick how you interact with it. If you want to fast forward, if you want to skip to a track, that's fine. Games don't exist like that. If there's a threaded narrative, great. You should probably start at A and get to point B. If there is not a narrative and still a game, you should still start at a point where the game wants you to go. Have the dialogue with the designer. Have the dialogue with the people that design this thing to be experienced in a certain way. If you are allowing for that person to go ahead and skip certain things, that's fine. But don't punish them necessarily, but maybe kind of direct them back to the way that you intended the game to be played. If you want to open everything up at the front end, I think you're cheating your player.
Oh, man. You had 1 second until the sound went.
You're welcome, America.
Minus 3 points for being wrong.
Oh, my God.
That's my opinion, I guess.
Mr. Arroyo.
Plus 50 Xandra points. So
Straight 47.
That's how math works. Mr. Arroyo, you have a minute to talk about it.
Okay, the biggest problem I have with this whole concept is that they're trying to relate video games to books, movies, all that kind of stuff, right? It does not take more skill for me to read the end of a book than it does the beginning. It does not take more skill for me to watch the end of a movie than it does the beginning. It does not take more skill for me to press the skip button on a music CD to get to track 3 than it does to listen to track 1. So it doesn't make any sense because games are built on a skill curve that tests your knowledge as you get farther in the game. You want to unlock all that shit and then just make it fucking impossible for me to play the end? Okay, then you didn't really unlock it, so what's the point of unlocking it? Like, unlock it when I've earned it, when it makes logical fucking sense for me to do so. Unless you're gonna make books such that the text gets super fucking small at the end of the book, where it's really hard to read because I need to be really good at reading to read the end of the book. It doesn't make any fucking sense to do this at all. It's fucking stupid.
All right, can I take us 1 second?
Yeah.
Like,
We can have a quick banner and then we got to move on.
I got
Go
some
ahead.
banners to say about this. You can't really say that necessarily because how many like open world sandbox games have you actually played? You can't count like Grand Theft Auto because I don't actually.
I think the only true original sandbox game that I've played recently is either Metal Gear Solid 5 or Witcher 3.
This was the logic of the articles, though.
Well, yeah.
Related to this
Yes.
was saying that all of everything should be unlocked, including all of the story.
Okay, but
and everything.
The thing about these kind of games, I guess, like when I think about like a game that has all the content unlocked, is the unlocking of the content is your understanding of how to use that in the game community. Like when you consider a game like EVE Online, or or I guess I could say Ark, the one I've been playing or something.
Right.
You have access to all the stuff. Somebody could give you the equipment. You can put it on and you can use it, but you do not know how to use it in the game because you have not had the experience. The unlocking of the game comes from your experience in the game, which is much more closer to how real life works.
But that's a completely different concept.
That's a game. I'm having fun playing those kind of games.
Okay, but that's not the same thing as saying that like a story-driven game that challenges you more and more as you get to the end should let you just skip to the
Let's
last
say
scene.
BioShock,
That's not the same
for
thing.
instance, like you play BioShock and you could just skip to the last level.
I didn't read the article, so I don't know what their examples were for that.
They're saying everything. The only place where I remotely agree is
It's a
open world
blanket
games.
fucking statement. It's a
Because
blanket
if they're gonna have an
fucking
open world game that's like real life, where like EVE Online, and then you go, you can get whatever you want, but maybe you don't have the skills to use it. That's a different concept to me than, and that makes sense.
I want to ask you, like, imagine EVE Online with everything unlocked. Like, you spend so much time upgrading your fucking stats and shit, or used to anyway.
Well, okay, I used to. I'm at the point, I guess you could say, in the game where I don't need to worry about that anymore. But I can join the game.
What's your player name?
I'm not bragging
Everybody
about
go
it.
kill
I'm saying
50's Crisis.
like you can start the game up and be a meaningful player in the game on the first day if you just applied yourself the right way or something. If you had somebody helping you out, telling you what you need to do in a way, not telling you how to play the game, but telling you what is effective at your level or something. Like there are games out there that have the content unlocked that you can play the game in some ways.
To some degree, yes.
Yeah, and
which would have been better spent in your minute.
What I'm saying, I understand contradicts with what the article, I guess, was trying to argue. I guess so. I don't know. Like, it's,
all right.
I don't know. I feel like I was.
You didn't give me any point.
It upset me that Joe was getting upset, so I had to say something.
Fair enough. I'm going to allow Alexandra to have one final thought here, or we're going to move on. So it's one or the other. So no pressure.
Oh, we can move on. That's
Great. Let's move on.
You didn't give me any points.
I didn't give you any points?
No.
I got 47. So you know what you get? 7,000.
Oh.
That's not prime.
I don't
That's
think.
fine.
I don't think
Next.
537 is either. I think that's.
Why don't you do that math in your head for a while?
It
So
adds
more
up to
esports
15,
crime.
That's divisible by 3.
Enough. More esports crime, you guys. In Korea, a bunch of people have been arrested. There's been a bunch of criminal crackdown on esports. I don't know what you call it. Match fixing is the right term for this in this regard. There are high-level gangsters involved. There are players involved. When I say gangsters, I automatically think of a Scorsese film, right? But then I try and appropriate a Korean version to that, and then I'm thinking like, oh yeah, The Departed was based on like a Chinese or Korean crime film in the first place. I don't know. I'm just saying that imagine The Departed with StarCraft and crime.
Is
Go.
Is Leonardo
Are you gonna-
DiCaprio still on it?
Are you gonna explain what this is about? Because I feel like you haven't done that at all.
There was a bunch of match fixing. People have been arrested. There have been ties to organized crime in Korea. If you are a Korean StarCraft player that does it on a professional level, there's probably been some trickle down that has affected you in some way. This is just one more story in a long line of a very burgeoning process where esports is becoming more and more relevant. And it's also a cash-based and very lucrative business. I mean, look, FBI is looking at DraftKings and FanDuel right now, right? Like this is how gambling and gaming becomes kind of like a gray area, right? Very much so. And in even in America, you guys. America. The point is, how do we stop people cheating at StarCraft?
Is that
no,
what we're
that's not
talking
the point. You have a minute, Mr. Arroyo, to talk about why Korean gangsters should stop match fixing StarCraft matches.
Really? I have to decide whether or not I'm okay with match fixing?
Say yes or no.
No. I think this is this whole topic kind of it's just
You
a
can
brush
talk about
over.
the Drake video if you want.
Yeah, like I'd rather talk about how the Drake memes are going so insane, and that it's such a competitive concept, and that obviously the Wii Tennis Drake meme is the best Drake meme. There's not even an argument. I mean, the pizza one was pretty good. The Pokemon one was also pretty good. But I'm just saying, like, out of all those things, match fixing is a thing. You know it's a thing. Like, boxers throw fights. It's been a thing forever. The moment we start tacking sports onto anything, anytime money is involved, people are going to come to you and say, hey, like, why don't you just throw this game? I'll give you $7,000.
Yeah,
That's
Pete Rose.
cool.
Fucking
It's going to
Shoeless Joe
fucking
Jackson.
happen. There's no doubt about it. So I just think it's kind of it's not a non-issue, but it's if it's a surprise to anybody, then I am surprised.
So it's a surprise to you regardless.
True.
Hey.
How good.
Miss Lucas,
All right.
you got 1 minute.
So what I think is they should instead invest the money in a TV show about this. So it would be called StarCraft Bebop and Kerrigan Valentine. And
Go
so
on.
we, come on, make something to entertain people. It's still lucrative. My first thought about this was actually like, this is a Warren Ellis graphic novel waiting to happen. But StarCraft Bebop, as you guys were talking, I was like, yeah, that feels right. And now I need it to happen.
Now I need it.
That's what every girl wants to hear. Perfect. So that's it. I'm going to stop talking.
You had 17 seconds.
Yeah.
If you wanted it.
I had enough.
Plus 5,537 points for using
It's
your
not prime. I don't think.
43 seconds wisely. Mr. Golish.
Well, she got me thinking about like the Real Housewives of North Korea in a sense. Like you got. I don't know what
Settle in,
I don't know what
everybody,
that
for the
means.
next 50 seconds. Go ahead.
So, if this isn't any more validation for what esports are, I guess it's like, how do you? This isn't gonna make any sense, but how do you explain to your family that esports are a real thing if you can't say that the mob is involved somehow? Like, if somebody's
But mom,
if somebody
the mom's involved.
if somebody's tried to extort it, like, is that not more validation for like how awesome it is? You stopped my timer.
Sorry.
That's all right.
You bumped my head.
Finish your thought.
Finish your thought.
Real Housewives of North Korea, South Korea.
Wait, so the assumption is that the Real Housewives of North Korea are married to gangsters.
South Korea,
or
Yeah.
His
People's
point was
Republic
that
of
when the mob gets
both.
involved, it must be a real
It's
thing.
legit.
No, it's
because
real.
they want to make money
Colin
off it.
Cowherd can suck it because the mob's involved.
Yeah,
Like
the-
prostitution and drugs, right?
Yeah, it's
Right,
exactly.
yeah.
Now it's legitimate.
Yeah.
Which
It's-
makes sense to a certain degree because now we wanted Scorsese to make a movie about fuking esports, right? All right.
It's a
Starring
rich
Leonardo
area
DiCaprio.
now.
Yeah.
What would
yeah.
it be called?
I don't even. I want you to answer that.
Table it.
You should answer your own
no.
question.
Oh, God, no.
I think it should be called
Don't do it.
Nazi Fart Strangler 69.
I think you just named the episode.
I'm not naming the episode Nazi
Are you
Fart
sure about
Strangler.
that?
I'm really sure about that. Oh my god.
You now have to live knowing you've said that like 5 times. at
I'm-
this point.
More than you should have in a lifetime.
to my son, I'm sorry.
Don't worry, I'll send you the evaluation.
I don't even know how to recover. All right, now I have a minute to talk about this. I just want a cool movie out of it. That's it. I think, like, we saw the horrible BBC documentary that like Daniel Radcliffe and then they did about the whole Hauser brothers for the Rockstar Games and all that. Now we just need a documentary about like Korean gangsters match fixing fucking StarCraft matches. Like, there's a new StarCraft expansion coming like soon, right? In the next month or so. Like, they're finally it's the third piece of the 3 pieces they promised 5 years ago, whatever. That's great.
Yeah.
Good on you, Blizzard. I hope that Hearthstone money's going right to that. That's great. But what I'm worried about is that in a fledgling business, the crime comes first. We're gonna work it out and we're gonna move forward. We just need eSports cops.
eSports cops.
That's eSports cops.
ES cops.
Esports cops.
I feel like we come with something good.
Yeah, -7.
-7 for esports. Really? All right.
I don't feel like I wasn't going to explain it. Usually people want an explanation. I just want to give you -7. So.
Fine.
All right,
I basically
here we go.
convinced myself that I'm never going to win a lightning round anyway.
Yeah.
So.
You can't. You're the host.
That's
Yeah,
understandable.
Star Wars. Nothing but Star Wars. Don't ever leave. He said
That's so bad.
Bill Murray, guys.
I know what you're doing. Okay, can we do this?
Just want to be
This is the best part of the show.
Yeah. Last topic, guys. All right. Star Wars trailer. Last one came out. We're what? 6 weeks away? Roughly 7 weeks away from episode 7. The Force Awakens.
Okay.
It's happening.
Yeah.
It came out. Everybody's very excited. Everybody, like every news program in the fucking world, if you consider this a news program too, we are talking about it as well. 4 days after the fucking fact. That's fine.
It's not out yet.
What I'm interested in talking about is the quote unquote Twitter boycott that is supposed to be happening.
we're talking about
Oh,
that.
we're doing it. We're getting fucking in deep right now.
Oh.
There is
boycott.
hashtag, what is it? Boycott
Star Wars
episode 7 or something, or what? Who
What is
gives a shit?
Am I supposed to not go see the movie if I join this club?
Well, apparently the complaint is that the cast is too diverse.
What does that mean? There's too many black people?
There's
We're
not-
getting there. You'll have your fucking time, dude. You'll have your time.
There's not enough.
And actually, yes, that's pretty much in a nutshell.
There's not
what
enough
people have
white
fun.
males. There's not enough white males.
Oh,
You'll get your minute, okay?
And you should boycott Star Wars if you feel like that your white privilege is being checked by Finn, the
Check-
black stormtrooper.
check yourself.
And Kylo Ren, the female, Star Destroyer scavenger. If you
that's
feel like your
Captain
privilege is being
Phasma or something, right?
No.
Shut up.
Stop.
Just give him his minute for. No,
I'm
don't
gonna
do
start.
that.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
okay.
start.
Can I?
I want everybody to know that is a 33-year-old white male. I haven't gotten chills from a movie trailer and since ever, and watching. I don't know. Fuck it, man. This is gonna crush. I don't give a shit. Like, you can talk all the shit you want about lens flares and J.J. Abrams fucking up Star Trek and all that shit. He's gonna do it. If I never see another minute of Star Wars footage, all I needed to see was that fucking trailer. I cede my time. Thank you.
Oh, wow. That was short.
Can I use your 30 seconds to rebut everything you just said?
No, you cannot.
If you do not go see this movie because of some stupid casting decision, then you're a fucking idiot. How's that?
Cool. That was good. Next.
How's that?
500.
5 points. Who's next?
Thanks. Thanks for that, guys. Appreciate it. Royal, you're up.
Oh, I'm up. Okay. The whole boycott thing I think is absolutely fucking silly. If anyone is actually taking that seriously, I don't believe that that's possible. I just don't. In the history of ever, I don't believe that that's possible. I think that the only way that was perpetuated was by trolls, and B, people who were hashtagging it to talk about how stupid it was. I think that's the only way that it got trending like worldwide, because people did start spending more time hashtagging it just to say how stupid it was that people were having a problem with a race issue. Like, if you literally, the thing is, like, if you put a black man in a film, that's pretty much how generic this concept was of boycotting the film. And I think it's absolutely stupid, because I am beyond excited for Star Wars. There's no way to say anything about it. We already bought our tickets. We're ready to go. Like, it's, for me, it's like Star Wars, the erection awakens. And that's how I stay true to myself.
Star Wars: The Erection Awakens.
Yeah. Is it
what I
my turn?
remember
Is that
most about this?
Sorry.
Thank you.
That's the title.
Gonna end on a high note.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Is it my turn? Is that what you're pointing for?
Okay.
You okay?
Okay. He's okay. All right, go Nick.
This, I don't understand the whole don't go see it because that's dumb. But I'm going to talk about Star Trek, maybe, and how transporters might be better than lightsabers because they can get to you through traffic. But don't do it. I got an A for that. But no, the trailer's really cool. I'm really excited for the movie. J.J. Abrams is a mediocre director, and he's always has been. And I'm still hopeful for the movie. Like, I've seen the trailer, and I'm still think it's going to be great, hopefully. But are there too many black people in it? No, I don't think so. There could probably be some more. Like, there's only one I've seen so far. But there could probably be more women, I think. There's only 2 that I've heard of. And that's a major problem that Star Wars has had.
It's the first time we got to the end.
Yeah.
I feel like I should have cut him off sooner.
Nick, for the first time in a long time, I think you actually lost a lightning round. All right.
Maybe.
We're going to give the privilege of hoping to salvage this fucking train wreck.
No pressure. No pressure,
wait,
Alexandra.
A new hope to salvage this train wreck?
Alexandra, you have 1 minute to
Please
tell us why.
get us back.
I'll do my best. So, first of all, the hashtag is really long, like not really ideal to use. So that's first strike there. But also, it reminds me of the hashtag All Lives Matter thing. Again, it's just missing the point. So I was really excited to see. I think her name is Rey. Is that it?
Kylo Ren?
Rey?
Right.
I don't know.
The girl.
It's
the
Ari.
scavenger girl.
Starts with an R. Anyways, so and Finn. So I like seeing them as leading characters because women and people of color, I feel, are very underrepresented, at least in the original trilogy. And I mean, there's a Family Guy gag about that, actually. So I think Peter's playing Han Solo, and he's like, "I'm totally in love with you, the one woman in this galaxy," for some reason. And I mean, yeah, like you said, I think there are 2, a handful of others, but yeah, it's just wonderful to see. Also, I like seeing there's a great article about it, but they let the actors age naturally. So Carrie Fisher looks like herself, not retouched, and that's wonderful. You know, you don't see you have trouble finding roles for women over 40. So
I like that as well. It actually makes it kind of cool that there was such a distant, like a time gap between the Star Wars films, because it worked out that the people who are in it are like similar to their age.
Funnily enough, there was a time gap between the original Star Wars films and these new ones.
Funnily enough?
it's 40-ish years or something, I think.
Yeah.
Whereas the movie's 30.
No, I was agreeing.
No, yeah, we agree.
That was what I was agreeing on. Okay.
You guys want to go play Ark?
Is it your turn?
Right
No,
now?
I'm good.
No, we're
Yeah.
The answer is yes, Gordon and Nick. I think we've done it. Alexandra, thank you so much for hanging out with us.
The insightful one of the group,
yes.
by the way. I'm honestly
for the viewers' reference, in almost the 70 episodes that we've done, only one guest has shown up with handwritten notes, and let it be known that Alexandra Lucas was that one guest.
and that the notes were
No pressure on future
good.
guests, but yeah, it offered some insight. It
And
kept us
next time,
grounded.
because we know how much effort you put into the notes, you will host the next time you come on the show.
Yeah.
Joe Erskine's fine. Don't worry about him.
Am I supposed to make more notes now? Okay.
We have them all up there.
Oh, that's true.
Good for
Well, I'm honored. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on. It was a lot of fun.
absolutely.
Oh, we
Yeah.
appreciate it. We are adjourning this court, everybody. Episode 68. Case closed.
You want to give us your gavel?
That was pretty good, actually. Oh,
That'll
Way to,
do.
that'll
way to
do,
steal
Big.
the guest thunder.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to set my hand.
Alexandra, tell the folks at home one more time where they can hear about Irradiance
Stuffs.
and Magnolia and voice acting.
Yeah.
Was it Silver Moonlight? What is it?
Oh my God.
Silken Moonlight.
Silken
Silken
Moonlight
Moonlights.
_
Gross.
So my Twitter is @SilkenMoonlight, and then my website is alexandramlucas.com. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Very good.
Oh.
I think we've done it. We're gonna call it. We're gonna call it Totes McGoats.
Please don't.
Thank you for being here, dear listener. Let us know what you think. Hit us up at cheatcodespodcast.com. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and get in on the conversation. Spread the word. Tell all your friends. And until then, stay tuned for a new episode coming next week. We have a bunch of awesome guests lined up. We've clearly had an awesome guest tonight, and we appreciate that presence. The train is on the rails.
She kept us on the rails, I think.
I think she did. Probably better than this host did. But we will see you next week. Thank you very much for listening. May the cheat codes be with you. Yeah, you're welcome.
Always.
Always.
Nothing but Star Wars.
Good night, everybody.